Up, Willow.
Yeah, no, everyone's got fruit salads. Like,
I've finished. Welcome back, everyone.
if you like ASMR,
Hold on.
go on TikTok.
How many times have we told that joke today? Seriously, how many times that
Apples at
joke?
like 3 in the morning.
Yeah, we did.
3 in the morning, there was like one person watching at them and like she was eating an apple on there just to like crunch in their ears.
Joint sleep.
Welcome back, everyone. 10 to 7.
Yeah, I know. It's
Rocking
crazy.
it. Rocking
Yeah,
it. Welcome back.
Yeah, welcome back, everyone. That was great. It's so good to see Jamie.
love Jamie.
And seeing his growth from last year
Oh.
as well. It's like it's good. This is the good thing with this. You're seeing people's
great.
growth. You're seeing that growth happen live.
Sorry, I thought she'd be.
I think we've been told to move our microphones a bit close to our mouths.
Where's
as
that?
well.
saying?
You all right, Alex?
Who's saying that?
It was earlier, I think so.
Willow.
There we go. That's
Alright.
Yes, better. Is that better?
perfect.
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay, cool.
I thought I'd
Got,
bring my
um,
sausage dog in for a bit of motivational stuff, but she's just been.
Just like
She's having a
grieving
look.
out.
She's just
Yeah.
having a
Just
in, man.
sell.
Just hope she
Just
doesn't
sell.
knock the camera
Just
or
sell.
anything. That would just be funny, wouldn't it?
Just wipe out the can. Well, I've done that already.
Oh, good, good, good.
It's good to see you, mate.
Yeah,
well,
welcome to the studio, Jan
What?
Dome.
How are you, man? Yes, yes.
Yeah, mate. Thanks for being here. 3rd year running.
Yeah. Wow.
How have things changed for Dan over the last 3 years? Well, this last 3 months has been a massive change for you, let alone last 3 years. What's going on?
Yeah, no, loads. This is wow. I mean, this first off, well done for getting this far. This is always a phenomenal exercise doing this. Speak up.
Cheers, man.
And today's session's been nuts, and there seems to be a really big theme, and quite a lot of it by people losing people. This time of the year is really hard for me in general. 3 years ago is the anniversary of my sister's completion of suicide. Did the old ABC health first aid there, and yeah, so it's always January is always difficult really for me and my family, and it's just one of those kind of gets more. Well, it doesn't get easier, but it is still difficult. So I really sympathise with anyone that's lost someone to suicide, and then. It's less than a year now when my dad passed away last year as well.
Oh,
So
man,
this
I didn't know
year's
that. Sorry to
actually
hear that, mate. Blimey.
And it was savage as well, man. Like in terms
Yeah.
of like, because I can't remember where I was. So I was on the phone to you. I don't think I was in the UK. I was somewhere, but like it was just really, yeah, it was a unique time, and you didn't have time to stop. And this is part of being we all celebrate Dan for being the side hustle king, and you are a powerhouse entrepreneur. Both you and Meg, just your whole family are just on it all the time. There's all stuff going on, and you didn't stop.
No, I mean, I literally came back from the funeral and was straight into. Sorry. It's my dog. My
We're all
dog's
just
running around.
distracted looking at the dog at the moment. Just, yes.
Yeah, I mean, I literally came straight back from the funeral and I was straight into Buckfest with the bar.
Wow.
And, so I didn't really have time to stop, didn't really have time to process. I mean, it was July, right in the middle of the season. And yeah, so that's why I just took this month to just kind of just black out on anything, stop, pause, reflect.
Let your hair down.
Let my hair down,
Literally
yeah.
and
man.
figuratively.
Let me sit down. Look at that.
It's long, isn't it? I need to get it
Yeah.
cut, so it's getting crazy at the minute. Yeah, so and I guess for me, big message is sometimes you do need to just stop.
Oh, do you know what? It's interesting because you asked me earlier on, didn't you? Like, what am I going to be talking on today? And it's that.
Yeah,
It's actually this narrative around us having to push through, and get better and get well, when actually, no, sometimes we just need the complete opposite. But what we need is the understanding that that's what's necessary rather than actually how long it's going to take for you to get better. That actually I smashed it. I was fine after 2 weeks. No, it's how long do you need to take in order to process that stuff. So I'm really glad you kind of brought that up actually, because it's not something we normally talk about.
well, I mean, Alex knows me well. I mean, I get stuck into loads of stuff. I mean, I think
It's an understatement.
I've not necessarily been diagnosed, but I've checked all the boxes. I definitely have ADHD or some sense.
Mate, the
But
amount
then-
of times that's been brought up today.
Neurodiverse, yes.
But I mean, I was going through the list. It was like can't finish things, always looking for new stuff, can't hold attention. But then it says something about taking risks that are like really kind of dangerous to your health. And I was like, well, I obviously haven't got ADHD then because I'm quite scared of most things. So obviously don't tick all the boxes. But when it comes to everything else, it was like, okay, yeah, definitely. Although it's not been diagnosed by a doctor, there's definitely some kind of attention deficit there. Hence probably why I like to. She's. I might have
We
to
get
kick
cut
her
off
out.
on the camera.
I'm going to kick her out in a minute.
She's all good.
Hence, probably why I do enjoy doing the side hustles, because it kind of gives me something new and shiny and fun, and get to do something different to kind of take my mind off of stuff.
So you've just said something there, and it's interesting. You said, I do want to do something nice and different to take my mind off of stuff. Would you appreciate or recognise that some people, and it might be that you recognise that in yourself, utilise things and stuff as a distraction to the deep-rooted stuff that actually does need to be processed, but is too painful, scary, and therefore I don't want to deal with it, so I'm just going to distract myself?
Oh, I agree. I've probably been guilty with that for my whole life.
Yeah.
You know, even my wife says to me, she says, sometimes you're not busy, but you're busy doing nothing, or you always find there's always something. You know, I think as having multiple businesses, and there is always something you could be doing, but should you be doing it? Must you be doing it? Are two different.
But yeah, is it a term of like doing too much sometimes when it's not necessary?
Oh, for sure. And I think
do
sometimes it's almost like justification, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like I'm a businessman. I need to work all the time.
Yeah.
If I'm not working all the time, it's not business.
I'm fake.
Yeah. You know, so you do get that kind of that feeling like if you stop, then the opportunities might stop.
Yeah.
Or the chance to make money might stop. So I think you always have that fear in your head, like that if I don't keep going, then I'm going to miss an opportunity, or I'm going to miss that flow, or the flow's going to stop, or the momentum's going to stop. But actually, when you take a break and go back to it, it's all still there.
It's still there.
Waiting for you to kind of crack back on with. So
And everybody has that thought, don't they? I think, when you get to a position in your own life about what's doable, what's comfortable, what is, what's for you versus what the expectation of you is, might look very different. But sometimes we have this expectation that actually if I'm not the side hustle king, who am I? What's left? And kind of, oh God, well, everyone knows me, so how am I going to code switch? Like, how am I supposed to then be this thing that people don't expect of me? So there's a lot of expectation.
So I mentioned earlier on with Jamie that I said the word I've used for myself at the moment for the last 6 months is content, because I'm happy in both jobs that I am. I'm going back to Kenya again, May, which I love doing. I haven't used that word ever before, but also it almost scares me as well, because I'm thinking, what happens? What's going to happen? And I'm hopefully in the job that I love full time, and it's going well. I hope to pass my probation, find out next week. I think I will. Fermented Talk's going really well. Still going back to Kenya, love it. Family are well, got a beautiful wife, 3 amazing kids. But because I'm so content, I'm like,
You're looking for something.
Yeah. But again, what that is, and that's when my CBT training comes back in, because I then have to change my mindset, change that anxiety, whoa, hang on, get that breathing techniques back in. And that's what it is. There's 2 things I learned from CBT, and that was my breathing techniques, which we did last night with the disco. Which
I saw that.
Box breathing.
I saw that.
Absolutely brilliant. I really want a copy of that.
Passed out.
Yeah, I did, because of lack of sleep.
Love that.
And I wrote a compassionate letter to myself. So it's the first time I've ever really journaled at that point. It was a big, long letter. I loved it. And I've fallen in love with journaling since doing that, because I think that really helps. Can I ask you, because obviously you've been through so much the last 3 years with losing family members, have you now allowed yourself to grieve for them?
No, probably not. So I think this is when I sort of spoke to Alex, last month, when I sort of took a bit of a step back from the shift stuff. One of the reasons I said to him, I was like, dude, I haven't stopped and I haven't grieved properly.
No.
And do you know what? Even
I said, what? No shit.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was.
No shit, go.
Yeah, and to be honest, I still don't actually think I have, and I haven't really processed it. And I think so. My relationship with my dad was quite distant because he lived in Northern Ireland, and I didn't really get a chance to go and see him very much. And he was an amputee, so we never really travelled to the UK, and it was always very expensive for us to go over to Ireland as a family to go and see him. So I only really have kind of had a relationship with him over the telephone.
Yeah.
So it's quite weird. It's like he hasn't actually gone.
Yeah.
I just think I haven't spoke to him in a while. So actually, I haven't actually processed the fact that he's gone until sometimes there's certain kind of things that sort of trigger it, and the song comes on and sit there in my car and I cry or something like that. But actually, I haven't actually processed it.
A kind of, we talked about the word acceptance earlier on, didn't we? With was it Nicola? We talked about. Yeah. It's about acceptance of.
Too large people up.
Yeah,
Hours,
38 people. It's the acceptance of they've gone, and it can take time to do that, and obviously,
And it's also, I think, when you think about have you grieved, grieving is not a specific time.
No.
No.
For a specific moment with a specific set of criteria, right? Like you've said, you know, you listen to a song and you'll cry. That's a process. That is part of your grieving process.
Yeah.
It's not actually, I'm going to grieve from Monday until next Thursday, you know, and it's a thing that you get done. That process is something, and it happens sometimes with your permission, sometimes without your permission
Yeah,
or
it's true.
involvement in that, right? So again, this kind of, what I'd love to see is for people to kind of drop an expectation of what something should look like, maybe,
Yeah.
because you're doing it because you're living and you're having these moments and these thought processes, remembering and crying and maybe getting angry for anything like me, you know, on those moments, and that is all part of the grieving process, and it's yours. It's unique to you.
Yeah.
It's like a movie, though. That's the thing, innit? It's like, it's not like you see these movies. They go for a grieving, whatever that grievance is. Movies ruin everything. It's, everything, and same as marketing. Really, marketers. Hello.
The dog's back.
Oh, God,
See
don't-
Daddy
She
then.
crying.
Come on then.
Was she?
Yellow,
It's all right. She
up,
was
up, up, up.
crying.
Come on,
See
Oh, look,
Daddy.
she can go.
That's all right. So you don't.
She's going to be like a really nice motivational,
Yeah,
positive
look
thing.
at that. Beautiful.
Therapy dog.
Instruct the dog, but
Beautiful
she's,
doggy.
I think
Yeah.
there's so much going on. That
Yeah,
she's
it's a
like,
lot.
She's
lot of
excited.
smells.
It's excited.
Oh,
But like they go through
Stop.
this, like, oh,
Chill.
you know, someone died or whatever the trigger, whatever the thing is, and then they go, oh, it's like romanticized period of time where they're like roaming for the rain and there's music on or whatever. And then,
Yeah,
Woo,
stereotypes.
the
Yeah.
sun, we're
Although,
off.
Alex, you know me, I'm a big movie and TV fan. Like, don't be
I know
knocking
you
it, bruv.
do. Well,
like
yeah.
sometimes,
Me too.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we could talk.
Sometimes it's quite realistic, but I guess it depends upon what you're watching.
on what, yeah.
The thing is, I guess, and
Producer.
actually, like,
But it's different every time, is what I'm saying. It's
Yeah,
like,
you're
it's
right.
unique.
But
Everything's
that's the
unique.
bit that's right. It's
Yeah.
unique for you
Yeah,
as an
yeah.
individual, be that someone on TV or somebody, you know, or whatever. Your grief is yours, and it's with you when you lose someone, isn't it? Forever.
It took me 10 years to listen to 3 Times a Lady by Lionel Richie. It's my mum's favourite song. 10 years it took me. And that when it came to that point where you go, and again, acceptance, go, oh, it's actually a really sweet song. And that's when I knew that I was ready. That made sense to move on a bit.
Yeah.
So I don't really have like a story around it. That's the sort of thing. Like, I don't know. Every time it's different. My only person I've ever. It sounds really like no, it sounds really bad. No, don't sound like that.
Do you
at all. My Gma. We remember when
I saw a picture of.
yeah, when my grandma left, that one hit me like a train wreck. And that's not to say that I didn't like anyone else that I'd lost in my life, but the only time I can think of, like when you all said, I'm just thinking in perspective around that. But even now, sometimes I'll have a little think about her and I'll have a cry.
Well, they say,
I mean,
isn't it?
it's fine.
Crying is an expression of love through your
Absolutely.
eyes,
Of course
right?
it is,
It's
yeah.
because you love them so much
Carry
that you'll
that's cool,
cry.
isn't it?
Absolutely.
Is that not fine? Like, can you not
Absolutely.
can I not be permanently sad about the fact my grandma's not here forever?
Yeah.
Is that not okay?
Well, I once did a mental health course, right, with a group of WI ladies, which was fascinating. And I love the WI because they feed me, right? Cakes and tea.
Is that a plug
That's-
to any
yeah,
local
WI.
WI speech in Daniel
Feed
Bridge?
me. And I did something when you've been on courses with me, and it was something called the continuum, which I've done today because I've been delivering training today, and it's the continuum, and I love that model because it's where you can see where you are on it as an individual and where you are in your life, regardless of what mental health challenges you may or may not have. And so I said to her, you know, the bottom right hand of the continuum is somebody with no diagnosis of a mental illness or disorder, but who has poor mental health.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's somebody who is not in a good place. And it's sad for me, for those people that sit in that space, because stigma stops them from reaching out and getting support, perhaps, right? But this woman, and it's to go back to your point, she said, I'm in that space quite a lot. And I said, okay. And she said, because I lost my husband. And I lost my husband 6 years ago. And she said, and I am effectively channeling my inner Queen Victoria. And I'm going to grieve for the rest of my life. And I'm going to wear black. And I'm going to be sad about it. I said, you do you, girlfriend.
cool. Yeah, do your thing.
Yeah.
If that's how you
Yeah,
choose to be,
absolutely.
right,
Yeah,
in
there
your
is,
grief, then that's how you choose to be. And actually, there's no one here that's got the right to tell you that you should be happy or
Yeah.
you should have processed it and be better and get on with your life. If that's what she chooses
That's
to do.
why I really love Afterlife.
Yeah,
with
it's
Ricky
great,
Gervais.
it's a great series.
I won't do I won't do the spoiler for people who haven't watched it, but the
Banging that.
final
Yes, I love that
the final
show.
episode, the final scene
Yeah.
is absolutely stunning. I can't really put the spoilers in, but the way that he again won't move on for his wife is passed.
He's quite happy in that space
Yeah,
for now, isn't he?
it's his happiness.
And that's
Does
when we
he-
go back to
and-
that. Why should we move forward so quickly? What's
Yeah.
an expectation of time? What does it look like, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and in one hand, I'm almost quite grateful that I have so much to distract me. You know, I do have my businesses, I do have my family, which are, you know, it all does take its time. And so maybe I have grieved. Maybe I don't actually need to go through the process of, like you say, having to do that whole movie thing of sitting in my room, listening to sad songs, burning a candle, crying for days. You know, maybe internally I've kind of done my thing, and it's almost quite nice in a way that sometimes I do think like, you know, I could just pick up the phone, but I think that's a bit that hits you sometimes. It's like, 'cause
Yeah.
for me, quite a lot of the time, we would speak when I would go to a festival. If I had a long drive, I'd be like, right,
Yeah.
I'm in the car for 2 hours. I'll have a good chin with my dad, undistracted, no kids, that sort of thing. And I think for me, that's when it kind of hits. You get in the car, and I'm kind of going, I'll just give my
And then you remember
Nana a call.
someone else.
Someone else a call. But no, it's nice. And this year as well, I say this year, we're 2023 now, but weird relationship I had with my dad meant that I didn't really have a relationship with my grandparents on his side, but we've kind of recently kind of reconnected.
It's nice.
That's
I
nice.
say recently, it's been a few years in the making now, but I think it's kind of sparked that necessity for us to spend more time. So this Christmas, she said, I'm going to spend Christmas on my own again this year. I said, no, you're not. We booked an Airbnb down in Waterlooville, and we picked her up
Nice.
Oh,
Christmas
nice.
Eve, and then spent a few days down with her, and it was the nicest thing ever, because I'd never had a Christmas with my nan.
Oh, I love
You know,
that.
and it's my kid's great grandmother, so it was their first Christmas with great grandmother, you know, and so I think that was quite nice. And I think just kind of it's, although the loss of my father is sad, it's kind of almost opening that doorway to kind of the family that I didn't really know as a kid. So now it kind of it's a weird one how that kind of stuff brings people together.
Dude, as long as you're, you know, it starts kind of takes right back to where we started at 6 a.m., 7 a.m. Those early conversations like Mike Farrington and
Oh, it's
KD
brilliant.
and whatnot. It all just comes back down to self-awareness. As long as you know where you're at, and you're happy where you're at, and you understand where you're at,
Yeah, that's it.
then that's it.
Yeah.
that's no more complex. than that.
Absolutely.
Does it have to be any more complex?
No.
than that?
No.
And actually,
No.
that's fine. You
Agree.
might be, like you say, you might listen to a song and go, boom, all right, hit me.
Yeah.
As long as you know. I see that a lot with plateaus as entrepreneurs. Dan and I share a lot in common in many ways because we're like the same human almost. I just haven't got quite the beard yet. He keeps trying to like get me that way, and then some like cuts it too short. I go, oh, sorry, mate.
Shaving more in my office today. Gutted.
And it's something that I remember about a mentor that taught me a long time ago.
Which only goes out 7 days.
What's he say?
It's Apple Watch.
Just telling about showing the beard, and apparently it can't plan that far ahead or something.
Story of my life.
Again.
we cannot book in 17 years of calendar waiting request for beard growth.
So this comes with the inevitable fact of plateaus in life, and you say whether it be the season or the death or the thing, whatever that is, wherever you are, and the plateau. And a great mentor once taught me, and he said, when a plateau comes, 'cause it's inevitable, sometimes you just got to thank the plateau and just go, what is this teaching me? And just sit in it, and it's fine. Like just sit in your pants and go, you know, well this is where I'm at for now. I'm just gonna sit there and I'm gonna thank it. I'm gonna take the moment to do whatever that feels like, and then see what goes.
That's great advice. Maybe I should do that, because I kind of get to that plateau and go, shit, another business, quick.
Yeah, exactly.
So-
There's obviously something going wrong. We'll go back.
We do,
Yeah.
man.
Do something new.
Yeah.
Fill it. Fill
Yeah.
the
Fill the
space.
space.
So what does it feel like now? You've said you've had like the month off, right? Like
Yeah.
stepping back. What have you been doing
Finance.
like, in that space? So you've not stepped back then?
No,
You've been doing
because
stuff.
I was supposed to go dark in January, and the thing is, my problem is I'm really bad at financial admin. So I had a year's worth of Rune Silk finance to do for year end. Yeah, that took me about a solid.
Accountants. I had an accountant in my business from the first year with
I have
hardly
an
any
accountant, it's
turnover.
not a bookkeeper.
Oh, yeah.
I do mine.
Commerce. That's transaction galore.
Oh,
Yeah,
no,
so
commerce.
literally, and
Yeah.
in
That's
April,
like every transaction you got.
You've got to process it.
and
Yeah.
then April, the worst thing was, I think it was April, we did a free sample campaign, and that was horrible because all
Yeah.
that was zero
yeah.
value
Still got it,
transactions.
still got it,
Still
still
got
got
to
Oh,
input
dear.
it. And so I was there just kind of going, oh God, I'm glad I did that. And then I got to November and I was like, oh, I'm never doing Black Friday sales again. And then we had the VAT return for Tenga. So I've done it now though. So 12th of January, I managed to file give
Well done.
everything over to the accountant and then submit the VAT return. So now it's kind of like, cool. So the last week has actually been nice. I've been using my calendar more. Sarah Brand will be very happy to hear that.
Yay.
That
'cause
time. He starts using his calendar now. He's gone.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
Book the time.
Yeah, so my calendar's blocked. Yeah, I'm looking at time. What I'm also now doing is I'm scheduling half an hour to an hour every couple of days or so. So they're not completely programmed, but it's like, okay, there's half an hour in my calendar here, read. So I'm actually blocking out downtime to actually read some stuff because I've got a big stack of
What
books
are
I've
you
not
reading?
read.
Oh my God. See, it's my books. I've got my little books to bring out in a minute.
Brilliant.
I've got what am I reading? It's the something of the Mendeleev's Dream. I think.
So
it's
is it
called.
fiction?
No, it's all about the history of the elements, and it goes all about to the sort of medieval alchemic elements, and then all the way to the modern elements and stuff like that. So that's quite cool.
Cinnamon. I go from.
See,
what do you
I
mean?
can't.
What do you say? Elements.
Like the
Air and-
the alchemical
right.
ones with air, water, earth, fire,
Right.
and then it goes into like the spirit element, and then moving into the Chinese where you've got the wood and the metal. So, but then
I think it's like cinnamon.
See, I can't do
Pretty
things
well,
like that. I'm
off on that.
I can't read technical books like that. I'm an autobiography fan. That's it. I don't read any other kind of books at all.
no, see,
So
I
I can't.
quite like that stuff, but I think it's if it's too educational, I switch off. I think
Yeah.
that's my ADHD mind.
Yeah.
When a book's trying to tell me something, like that, stop telling me. Don't you tell me.
That's where
Don't you tell me what to do.
ChatGPT TLDR this for me.
Yeah.
Is perfect.
Don't tell me what to do. And then there's a few, even a lot of the books I've been putting off, things like Atomic Habits that I've been wanting to read for a while. I've got that by the side of my bed. I've started reading. Oh God, what's that book called that you guys
How many
bought
books?
back
Oh,
from
you actually
Amphipy?
started. How much you actually started
It's like
reading?
something about digital.
Oh yeah, it was Digital Catapult Renaissance.
Yeah, I'm reading that.
That's
So
Web 3.0.
How many books have you started to read?
I'll probably be an ADHD.
ADHD,
man. I
yeah.
can only read like
You started
half a
600.
Yeah, I've got loads of
Yeah.
books, and I
Isn't
kind
that
of
finished? One of them.
no, about 5% in. I'm like, okay, well, I got all I needed out of that. Well, don't you find that though sometimes with books where like you say you need that
Yeah, do
too
bits
long
of it, that's
didn't
fine.
read. That's why I really enjoyed Blinkist for a bit because I'm like
Yeah.
you could literally. Why give me 1,000 pages when you've summed it up in 5?
I'll be
Is
honest,
this
I don't
only
read
for?
many
This is
books
only
now.
for like action books, right? Like
Yeah, like
non-fiction.
learning stuff.
Learning. Yeah,
about
I forget that.
business.
Yeah, so I think I find
So
a
I've
lot of
moved
the
on-
self-help
I've moved
books
off
like
books
that.
now.
Yeah.
I'm much more focused on. I've newsletter. I said before Christmas. Now I'm like, I have like 5 or 6 newsletters that I'm like subscribed to religiously, and podcasts. I
Yeah.
love my podcast.
I'm reading.
different
I'm reading
phases.
Wretched 3.2 Rapology at the moment. Brilliant.
I went through a phase of reading nothing but self-help books. I mean, avid self-help
It's
books.
tiring though, isn't it?
Love it, but I was confusing myself, man.
But
Like,
do you not find it sometimes exhausting?
One book's
Well,
condescending the other
You can
one.
read
I was
too
reading
many.
this one,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
tells you to do one thing, and then you read another one that goes butterfly mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
do 7 things. And you'd be like, what?
So you have that- and there's a weird thing with self-help books because they are useful and they have a value in your life.
Absolutely, yeah.
But I sometimes get like most of them you're reading it's like after a while you're like okay well it's just a confirmation. So thanks. Like, I'm already doing that or I'm.
It depends on how your mind is, I think.
Yeah.
It really
And
does
where you
depend
are
on
in the
where you
moment you're
are in
reading
your
it.
life,
Yeah, that's true.
and what you're willing to work on.
How do you mind?
Are you in a I'm ingesting stuff, I'm in learning mode, or am I in distraction mode? I'm in distraction mode at the moment. So obviously we've got Danny B's
Yeah.
book club coming shortly.
Yeah, we'll be
Yeah,
on
yeah,
soon,
nice.
very soon.
Yeah, very soon.
After Luke.
So we'll talk about stuff like that. But the books that I'm reading at the moment are definitely not. I'm in a really good time to learn. No, I want distraction because my life is very
bit of a
busy. So I need some escapism. So I think
Nice.
we use
Nice.
these mediums for different reasons in our spaces, right?
Yeah, I go for that, and I think for me the non-fiction stuff or the fiction stuff is when that's me and my kids' time. So I do read pretty much nearly every night when I'm at home. That we read. We're on the the Royal Institute of Magic at the moment.
Oh, love it.
And then you read that.
No, but I think
It's quite. It's very Harry Potter-esque.
Love Harry
like
Potter.
Before that, we read The Time Hunters, which is all about time travel and stuff
Yeah,
like that, which
yeah.
is
Oh,
pretty
nice.
cool. But one of my favourite ever escapist books is pretty much anything by Philip Pullman. His Dark Materials. Is,
Although I've got a question for you because I mentioned this today. This is really weird, but it's very serendipitous today. So I was doing my training course today, and I was talking about like our phones. And you know, in the Philip Pullman books and the Amber Spyglass and you know all the others, the demons that are attached to them.
yeah, this is mine.
This is mine.
Oh no, this is mine. This
And I
is mine.
think, you know,
Yeah, phone's
and
mine.
it's a phone. And what I mean by that is obviously, you know, I can put mine down and I'm not actually too connected. But it seems as if the whole of society now is connected to theirs. The way in which each of those
Cyborg.
characters are connected to their own
Yeah.
demon, which gives them the same level of interaction. It's quite creepy when you think about it.
I actually think I'm
you know.
addicted to my Apple Mac at the moment.
It is
It's
addiction.
quite nice actually being away for it the last 24 hours.
Yeah, it's a
I
bit
don't think
weird.
about it.
It is.
Yeah.
It is a big
What's that?
addiction.
Take or leave.
Which one? Your phone?
Phone.
I think.
Yeah.
I've been
the
on
thing.
a long journey to get to that.
Yeah.
I think like we're so used to everything being fast paced now. And I think this
Yeah.
is the whole. This is important for taking a step back, and that,
Slow grow.
Yes.
and that's the problem with the phone is it's instant gratification.
Absolutely.
You know, obviously, that, you know, essentially why Instagram is called Instagram
Insta,
because it's
yeah.
instant. They say, don't they? Insta. Oh,
I thought about that.
No,
but it's
neither
It's
did I.
Instagram,
What?
'cause it's
Yeah,
like, ooh,
wow.
that's true.
Endorphin kick, yeah.
absolutely. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm
man.
impressed by you,
Oh,
dog.
very, very, very much so because you know, and it's that. And I think my fear is the youngsters now because there's so much on them to be relevant. And but the problem is that we change so quickly, and society changes like bang, bang, change, bang, something new,
Yeah,
bang,
yeah, yeah.
something new, something new. I struggle to keep up
Yeah,
with
it's
what's
true.
going on with
True.
my kids and the way their stuff is changing.
I wish my kids would read though.
Yeah, well,
They
that's
will
it.
eventually.
No, they used to.
I did.
Yeah, my boys
I
They
didn't-
did used to.
I didn't read my first book till I was 24. I've read hundreds now.
Yeah, but
Maybe they'll find a time
They
when
will-
it
yeah.
serves a purpose to them.
yeah, no, that's fair enough. And I guess it's because of the fact that I find so much joy in it that I want them to enjoy it, right? But they're teenagers. They've
I
got
like
to find
World
their
of
own way.
Warcraft. Like
But
games,
books-
I want to play World of Warcraft.
Seb
I wanna
likes,
play FIFA.
don't, we talked about FIFA. Smashing up
Yeah,
flipping
But
controllers.
I'm conscious
Rude.
of time.
Yes.
We ask every guest so far
Yeah.
that question. What are you saying to Dan a year from now?
Have to take a break, have a holiday, actually get away, get out
Are
of
you
the country.
thanking you because you did that?
Oh, for
This
sure.
is a year from
That's
now.
good,
Oh,
yeah.
okay, yeah, no, I
that
like
holiday
that.
was awesome. That's what you're saying.
Okay, I see.
Be specific.
Yeah. Wow, well done, mate. You smashed it.
Woo, woo.
That's nice. That's a nice one to look forward to, isn't it?
Yeah.
Hold you to account to that.
Yeah,
It's
and your
on recording.
holiday as well. I want to know where it is. How was your
Yeah.
holiday? Was it really good?
It was awesome.
Awesome.
I've got the books out and everything. But before I run off, I just wanted to say, you know, with books, do you still not think that books are going to become what CDs were to us when kids
Yeah.
look at a CD and they go, I don't even.
What's that?
What is
Yeah.
that? Is that that's a nice
Oh,
decoration.
don't say that.
April has them on her
It will.
wall. She's got
Reckon?
CDs. Like,
Yeah.
you know, when people put vinyl, you know, the old vinyls, and they had the really cool designs on the vinyls. Now it's CDs. And it's like, yeah, that's like old.
I think it will.
Yeah, that was
I think it
when my
will. I
parents
think it will
did
go
I don't
on.
know, man. No, I don't know about that.
We'll see.
We'll see, yeah.
When we were all sitting in here on Live for number 450. Well, you know.
We're cyborgs, like
Yeah.
wired into
Chat
something.
GPT's typing everything.
Just so, we'd like society just won't let us die. 'cause it's like-
I like a skeleton with my head in a bowl.
well, on that note,
Someone said to me that we're going to be the last generation to die or the last generation to live forever.
Wow. That's freaky. See, this is some science fiction business, that is.
That's going to unravel another session.
Yeah, that
Right.
Should
My
have picked
man.
up on that earlier.
is. Yeah.
did we get a picture before you go?
Yeah.
You already got one?
No,
No.
yeah.
Oh, no.
sweet.
Got signed
Right.
I've got
shirt as
signed
well.
shirt
2 minutes.
Well, we were catching up on time. We didn't, but that was great
Yeah, it was
conversation.
great.
Like that was worth it.